that tends to
just affecting everybody.
That tends to be the big issue. It's like, well, they're going to be. If you assume there's a great and the good who are controlling all this and know that they are doing it.
I don't think there was great or good, but anyway, go on.
Well, yes, I should have done that. Great and good. What you also have to consider is they have a different diet to us. They eat different things, which are nutrient rich.
Yeah, that's the only thing I could think of.
That basically is the bottom line. It's why good food is expensive.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how it's sourced, how it's made, or whatever. If it's nutrient rich, it will be pricey. There's nothing at all linking food prices to how much it costs to create. If it's good for you, it'll cost.
I presume that's why in America that they're coming down heavy on people that grow their own food.
Oh, absolutely. Basically, there will come a time where if you have an allotment, and it's very true in some areas of America already, if you have an allotment, you will be considered a terrorist. And I'm not kidding. That's what's happening in America. Basically, people are being closed down, shut down, all sorts of bits and pieces to basically stop you growing your own.
But it's plainly insanity, isn't it?
Yes.
How can people not see that as, you can't go, he's growing tomatoes, he's a terrorist. I mean, why?
The problem is...
I'm sorry, I know, I just find it...
The problem is people are driven down a particular track and believe everything they are told, unquestionably. This is why Do Watch and On the Edge are going to be so important, because we question the status quo. We say, hold on a minute, this doesn't look right. And that is a brilliant way to introduce Mark Ceylon.
Thank you. Now, it may take me a while to get used to this, because I've not used it before. I'll just have a practice. Yeah, that seems to work. That seems to work. But I tend to do interactive meetings. So how many of you have seen me talk before, or have seen some of the stuff I put out on YouTube? Well, that's cool, about half of you. So those that haven't are in for some interesting information, some shocking information, and some stuff you just won't believe. So, to move on with, disclaimer, don't believe anything I say. I could be like a member of the government lying. So do your own research, do your own due diligence. If you hear anything I say you find interesting and you want to go and look it up or try it, by all means do. But do your own research. Make sure I've not made a mistake. Things can change as time goes on. With that, welcome. I hope you enjoyed tonight. If not, it's Alex's fault. If you do, it's my fault. As I said, it's going to be interactive. I'm going to be asking you questions, and I would like some interaction. When I ask a question to the whole of you, all of you, should I say, I'd like a hand if you agree or disagree or have heard it before or haven't or whatever, whichever way it rounds. This first part is going to be about the financial system and debts and how to deal with them. A little about me and my life. Well, yes, thanks, I am. I'm 36, which is the maximum number in quantum. 3 plus 6 equals 9. And when you realise all the answers are in 3, 6 and 9, you will realise everything. And that was by Nikola Tesla. Now, the missus over there, she's older than me. In fact, she's a cradle stature. She's way, way older than me. She just looks reasonably young because she's had an easy life living with me, as you can probably imagine if you know me, and if you don't, it will become clear. The reason I look so good for my age of 36 is my paper round wasn't a hard one. Who knows about the law of attraction? Hands up if you know. Not many. Well, you're about to find something very interesting. For those that know about the law of attraction, do you use it? Yes or no? So you, a lot of you know about it, but very few of you use it. Well, I'm here to tell you you're all wrong. You use it all the time. It's just you're using it on autopilot. The law of attraction dictates that whatever you put out, you get back. And there's evidence of this. I can prove it to myself. When I was feeling a bit down or angry, and I went out, I would meet others that were down or angry. And when I'm feeling good, I meet others that are good. And so I try to feel good all the time because, hey, who wants to meet Mr. Angry? Now, when I was a kid, I knew about the law of attraction then, but it gets brainwashed out of you. When you're a kid, you have these imaginary friends that you talk to. The thing is, they're not your imaginary friends, they're actually your higher self that's giving you good advice. But of course, your teacher says, don't listen to anyone like that because you could be crazy. Now, for me, when I was about 8 or 10, somewhere around that sort of age, I had a Ranny Chopper. Does everyone remember the Ranny Chopper? Yes? Okay, I'm just making sure because I did say this was interactive. Well, when I was about 8 or 10, my younger brother Craig, he nicked my bike, and when I found out he'd gone off on it, I'm rushing out and I'm running around to see if I can find him, and I'm thinking, I hope he has a crash. I hope he gets run over. And then a little voice at the back of my head said, don't think that, because you'll cause it to happen. That's the law of attraction. What you think about, you create. Now, the first time, as an adult, if you can class me as that, I realised about the law of attraction, I heard about it. It was actually, funny enough, by one of the slides Alex did earlier, by David Icke. He was talking about it. And I was on the way to a fast food shop, and this particular shop is on a main road, and it's got a little parking bay where 5 cars can fit into it, maximum. And I'm about 5 minutes away, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to try this law of attraction. So I put it into my head, I'm going to get the parking spot. Bearing in mind, there's usually never any parking spots, but I decided I'm going to try this law of attraction once and for all. So I decided I was going to get the parking spot that was right outside the door of the shop I was going to go into. Anyway, 5 minutes pass and I get to the destination, and there is a parking spot just to the side. I pull up and I'm just debating whether the car will fit into it or not, because it's tight. And then, just as I'm debating whether I can get in, the car in front of me pulls out. And I go, oh, I can fit in there. And I pulled straight in and levelled the car up, and I went, hang on. And I looked to my left, and I'm outside the doors of the shop, just like I had put out in my mind. Law of attraction works all the time, but when you're walking around thinking you're not using it, you are using it, you just don't realise you're using it. I'm sure you all know we're controlled. How are we controlled? Don't answer that, because I'm sure I'll get several answers. And many of them will be correct. However, this is the real answer. Fear. We're controlled by keeping us in fear. Fear, you won't be able to keep your house because you might lose your job. Fear, you won't be able to put food on the table for the family because you might lose your job, you might break it. It's fear, fear, fear. Fear is their main control mechanism. Do you know what fear stands for? False evidence appearing real. Why is it false evidence? Well, when you're in fear of something, for instance, paying your rent. You're in fear of that because you might get kicked out. The only thing is, it hasn't happened yet, so you're imagining it in your mind. It's not real. You're in fear of something in the future, when the only time you're alive is now. You live in the here and the now. It's all in the mind. Is it a mind game? Yes, of course it is. It's in the mind, so putting yourself in fear, and we've all been brainwashed to do this, is the reason that they have been getting away with it for so long. Which brings us back to the law of attraction. Because if you're thinking about, am I going to be able to pay for it? Guess what? You're bringing that towards you. You're attracting what you're thinking about. Let's talk about calls. Do you know that I was in court 2 years ago? 2 years ago this month, actually. It was the 5th of January. I was in a Crown Court. That was a real court, by the way. There are very few real courts. A Crown Court with a jury is the only real court left in the land. Why was I in court? Does anyone here know? Apart from you. Right. I was in court. Who's heard of Tom Crawford?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I was in court because me and 5 others got onto Tom Crawford's roof. His house had been stolen. They like to call it repossession, but it had actually been stolen. And when they stole it, I think it was the 2nd of July, they stole it, 2015. And there was many. The first time they came to try and evict him was a year 6 months a year previously. And we put it out on the internet because Tom put his story about what had happened. Now, Tom had paid his mortgage in full for 25 years. The bank, Bradford and Bingley, had lost his endowment policy. So although he paid around, for, I think it was about £30,000 mortgage, maybe 40, I can't remember now because it's a few years back, he paid over £140,000 back. The bank still wanted another 40,000 off him. The bank lost his endowment policy. So Tom and his wife Sue decided, I'm not giving you any more money. You already had £140,000 for a £40,000 mortgage. So they decided they were going to evict him. I think that was something like the 23rd of July, 2014. We put it out on the internet, and about 400 men, women and children from all over the country, and some from different parts of different countries, came to support Tom on that day.
So Nottingham.
That was in Nottingham.
I was there.
Yeah, well, that was in the sun. It was a really hot, sunny day. I got sunburned. And the bailiffs never turned up. They just didn't turn up. They could see there was no point. There's 400 men, women and children stood there saying, we're not having this anymore. We know that you're a bunch of corrupt criminals and we're not having it. We trust Tom. We know that he's paid his mortgage. Anyway, they didn't turn up. 6 months later, January, this time will be 2015, they were coming to evict him again on the 23rd of January. We put it out again on the internet, what was going on. This time, between 700 and 800 men, women and children turned up. Now, the powers that apparently are still there at the moment, but not for much longer, they were crapping themselves. However, what they had done is they'd hired the bailiff lot out to this North Wales company, who were big, burly, basically thugs, and 6 of them turned up. The only problem was there was 700 or 800 of us, so they thought, shit. Now Tom lives on a hill, and down the bottom it goes both ways, but it's a cul-de-sac, there's no way out. So they drove down in the car and the little minibus, went round the corner and thought, shit, we're trapped. Well, some of us decided to go down and see what they were up to. We went down and asked them if they were bailiffs, and these big, and I'm talking big guys, because No, we're not bailiffs, we're shoe salesmen. These big, hard men were trying to pretend to be shoe salesmen. They'd come, and if Tom, his wife and his daughter had been there, they would have smashed the door in, thrown them on the street, beating them up at the same time, but because they were outnumbered, they chose not to do it and pretend to be shoe salesmen. Well, 6 months later, June, it was either June or July the 2nd, they turned up without notice, which by itself is against the law. They turned up with somewhere between 150 and 250 police, 50 supposed bailiffs. They were in fact busting from Birmingham. They were just bouncers busting, pretending to be bailiffs. They assaulted everyone that was there because nobody knew they were coming, and threw them and their property out onto the street, backed up by the police. There were around about 12 Black Mariahs, numerous police cars, fire engines, ambulances, helicopters. This was for an alleged £40,000 owed on a mortgage, which is a civil matter. The police are not allowed to get involved in a civil matter. Yet, between 150 and 250 of them turned up to aid and abet a criminal activity. Now, Tom on the day, because he was on his way down to London, and he was somewhere down near Luton when his wife told him that they're smashing the door in. So he turned around and came back, and it took him about an hour to get back, which from Luton is not bad going, considering he had all the temporary speeding limits on the motorway. But let's just say he may have been going a little bit faster than normal, and he got back in around an hour. And he got to the house, and by this time, probably 100 or so supporters had turned up to see what was going on, because they knew the story. So Tom asks to see the warrant. The warrant was then brought, allegedly, by a guy with an HMTCS, Her Majesty's Court Tribunal Service blue jacket. And as he's walking towards Tom says, "I hope your name's on that warrant," because Tom had done a lot of studying into warrants and realised that the bailiff's name has to be on the warrant. There are certain other things that have to be on the warrant. When Tom said this to the bailiff, he turned around and ran away, because the warrant was a forgery. The police, and they had gold commanders there and all sorts of police, apparently had seen the warrant and it was legitimate. Well, that was on the 2nd. On the I believe it was the 23rd of July, me and 5 acquaintances, because I didn't know someone at the time, we ended up somehow on Tom's roof. They put security staff with dogs and everything in the house, but we somehow managed to get onto the roof. And from the moment we got onto the roof, which was 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Friday, the moment we got onto the roof was funny. We managed to get into the house. It was a bungalow we lived in. We managed to get into the attic of the house, and they called the police, of course, and van loads of police turned up. This is again for a civil matter. And to cut a long story short, because some of you know about it, if you don't, look on any of my YouTube channels, look up Tom Crawford, you'll find the video where the police attempted to murder me and my 5 friends. We was in the loft, and they got a big steel spike, and they were ramming it through the floor we were stood on, trying to murder us. 3 of us decided they didn't want to lose their life, and they agreed. This was by about 8 o'clock. They agreed to come down. As they went down, me and 2 others went up onto the roof, right at the front, and we sat on the ridge tiles. The police came up into the loft part after the 3 had been taken down and been arrested and taken away. And because we were back on the roof, they then went to underneath where we were sat at a 40-foot drop on the ridge tiles and started smashing the ridge tiles, trying to knock us off the roof and kill us. This is the police for you. Anyway, we stayed up there all night, and even though it was July, it was cold. We came down the next day about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and were taken to the police station, arrested and charged with conspiracy to do this and conspiracy to do that. And we had a trial set for January. So January comes along 6 months later, and there's 7 of us on trial. 6 that were on the roof, and Tom's son Craig Crawford, who had come along and thrown some food and some clothes up to us because we were freezing and we were stalling. Anyway, the 7 of us are in court. This is a Crown Court, and they moved it to Leicester because they knew where the support Tom had in Nottingham, so they moved it away from Nottingham. And it was set for a 3-day Crown Court trial before a jury. Now, before it got to the jury,
It was 3 weeks.
is that what I said?
No, you said 3 days.
Oh, a 3-week Crown Court trial. It's been a while. You know, these chemtrails are poisoning your brain. 3-week Crown Court trial before a jury. Now, the first day started, it was the 5th of January. Me and Craig were the two, the others went not guilty, me and Craig went no case to answer. This is a legal term, and it meant that we knew we hadn't done anything wrong. So they said, we've got no case to answer. And the judge listened to it for the first day, and then said, well, actually, I think you've got a case to answer, so we'll start the trial. So on the Tuesday, the trial starts. Now, as you can imagine, we're all, I mean, there was 4 of us, self-litigants. The other 3 had barristers. But the barristers only care about their chap that they're looking after. So 4 of us are standing there and asking questions. During the first couple of days, we managed to rip every single guy or girl that came out to give evidence against us. We proved them to be lying in court. That's called perjury, and that's an imprisonable offence. As the days progressed, it got to about the 3rd day as the trial had started, when the judge, because we'd been asking to see the warrant, you used a warrant to throw this man, woman and his daughter onto the street. You say there's a warrant, show us the warrant. After 3 days, the judge ordered the CPS to call up Nottingham County Court and get a certified copy of the warrant. The CPS then went and did that, and then he had to stand up in front of the jury and say there was no judge in Nottingham that would sign to say there's a certified copy of the warrant. Just think about that. They've thrown a family onto the street, and there's not a single judge would say there's a real warrant been issued. The case continued for a further 4 days. The prosecution has produced all their witnesses, and they've got 1 more witness to come. We've proved every one of them not to be a liar so far, apart from the woman who said we hadn't done anything about it, so we left her, didn't even question her. The 7th day into the 3-week trial, it was bingo time. We've been continuing to ask for the warrant. So you know what the judge says? He finally had enough. He said to the CPS, I want you to get the warrant, bring it to court the next day. We're like, oh my God. However, that night, we still prepared for the next day as though it was going to continue, although deep down we knew it wouldn't. We get to court the next day. The CPS stand up and say, we offer no evidence. There was never a warrant used to evict Tom, Sue and his daughter. That was 2.5 years ago now. It's coming to 3 years in July. That's talking about the courts. That was a Crown Court. That is the only real court in the land. There we go. Trading securities without a licence. All courts are dissolved. This was in 2008. UK Limited. January 2011, Company House. There's the number. 12/2/2008, struck off and dissolved from the register of Company's House. Done at Bradstreet, incorporated in 24th of June 2008, and that's the number. That's the Clearfield Doctrine. There are no legal courts in this country anymore, except for a Crown Court with a jury. There it is in black and white. So whenever you get taken to a magistrate's court or the county court, you are not going to a court. They were dissolved in 2008. They are now committing fraud. Are you awake yet? Who's awake in this room? Right, now remember this is interaction, and what I want you to start doing now is looking to either side. So we're going to ask that question again, and I want you to look at the side of you and see who puts their hand up and who doesn't. Who's awake? Right, now we all know who's put their hands up. Now I'm going to ask the question, who's not awake? Oh, no hands have gone up. I know these two didn't put their hands up the first time, so they're lying. Now, hopefully, I'm going to play a video. Does this do it? Here's a video, I'm going to play it, and guess what? I'll just hang a second. Says you still think you're awake now? Bearing in mind, awake is something left behind a boat as it travels through the sea, and we're all under Admiralty law. So I don't use the word awake because I don't believe in Admiralty law. This is a website. For those that know of me, I used to run a website called Get Out of Debt Free, where I became, strangely enough, world famous for exposing the banking system. In fact, I'm actually mentioned in a court case in Canada where they referred to me as the Get Out of Debt Free guy. That website has got the forum was basically sold by a couple of guys that owned it to somebody they shouldn't have sold it to. That was then set up by the members, and you can go on that site and you can chat in the forum. You've got any questions, they'll be able to answer them. There are debt letters that you're going to see shortly, where if you think you're in debt, I'm here to tell you you're not, and the reason for that will become obvious, hopefully. If you've got any questions, I will try my best to answer them. In fact, I won't try, I will do, because I don't try, I do things. What's that? Anyone know? Hands up in the air if you know what that is. Right, so you lot don't use money then? Oh, he's put his hand up. Oh, he's getting dragged into this connection thing. Right, what is it? Anyone tell me? Tell me.
Promissory note.
Correct. And many think that's a £10 note, which of course it is, but what does it say on the Bank of England there? Can you all read that?
Promise to pay the bearer upon receipt and sum of.
I promise to pay the bearer on demand the sum of whatever note it is. That's a promissory note.
It didn't used to say that, did it?
Well, we'll get into that maybe. So, if that's a promissory note, whenever you go to that bar and give him one of them to pay for your drink, you're promising to pay, but you're not actually paying. Is that weird or what? Is it just me that thinks that's weird? Yes, that's weird.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah.
Okay. No, it's not weird. No. Right. That's actually an audio track, but I won't bother playing it. You can read it. Banking was conceived in equity and born in sin. Josiah Stamp. Well, I'll show you. Oh, pointing the wrong way. The modern banking system manufactures money out of nothing. The process is perhaps the most astounding piece of sleight of hand that was ever invented. Bankers own the earth, take it away from them, but leave them the power to create money, and with a flick of a pen, they will create enough money to buy it back again. Sir Josiah Stamp, Director of the Bank of England, 1927. That's a director of the Bank of England telling you the banks create money out of thin air, out of nothing. But if you want to continue to be slaves of the banks and pay the cost of your own slavery, then let bankers continue to create money and control credit. This was a director of the Bank of England telling you you're a slave. And if you allow banks to continue doing what they're doing, they're going to enslave you. And they are very, very close to doing just that right now. That, apparently, was it's been tidied up, the address taken off and a few other bits, but apparently I owe £2,035 gas bill. As you can see, this is apparently how it, notice payments, none. That's a lie. That's an absolute lie. I paid that bill. You know how I paid it?
Bill of exchange.
With a promissory note. That's a promissory note as well. I also used it via accepted for value, which any of these things you can look up yourself and find out. I'm going to show you another one. Look at that, $1,200,000 American dollar promissory note. That's a bonded promissory note. There are different ones. That tells you how to use promissory notes. Now you might probably be thinking, you can't make your own promissory note. But remember, the director of the Bank of England just said they issued their own promissory notes out of nothing, backed by nothing. Now, if you look at it on the left-hand side there, third line down, not to be presented for collection, process as a cheque. So a promissory note is to be treated as a cheque. Now, I could get into all sorts of stuff about this, but I'm trying to keep it simple. Eon, you all know who Eon is? This is financial liabilities of Eon Group. You see down the bottom there in yellow? Bonds and promissory notes issued by Eon. They issued their own promissory notes. Do you know what they issued them for? Well, if you apparently use them as your energy supplier, they paid for your gas or electric with a promissory note. Like I showed you earlier, they paid with a promissory note. And then they charge you for it. But they want cash off you. This is from the Articles of Association. To draw, make, accept, endorse, discount, negotiate, execute and issue cheques, bills of exchange, promissory notes, bills of lading, warrants, debitors and other negotiable or transferable instruments. Now, if you don't pay your promissory note, they will say they've been to the court and got a warrant. Wait a minute. They don't need to, because they just admitted they issue their own warrants. And I had evidence of that. I put a video out about that where someone came pretending to someone's house and they took a picture and sent it to me. And at the bottom of this alleged warrant, it said, I can't remember the name of the company, so I'm just going to say Eon. It said Eon. It was written on Eon headed paper. Oh, do the courts use Eon headed paper now then? I don't think so.
The councils do the same thing. The council tax, they issue their own warrants as well.
They issue their own liability order. I'll be getting to that later on. This is an EDF. Although it's London Electrical PLC, EDF actually bought them out and own them now. This is from their Articles of Association. To draw, make, accept, endorse, discount, negotiate, execute and issue cheques, bills of exchange, promissory. Are we seeing a common denominator here? They all issue their own promissory notes.
But they're asking you to pay with a promissory note printed by the bank.
Correct. This is another company, and this is NNB Generating Company Limited, and this is another one owned by EDF. This is the article, Memorandum of Association. Well, look at that again. Which one of these buttons puts the green light on?
Top one.
Ah, yeah, right. So there we go, promissory notes again. Issue promissory notes. Now, after I paid with a promissory note that I created myself, so my actual promissory note was more valuable than the notes that you've got in your pocket. I created it. So, about 6 months later, after umming and ahhing, they eventually decided, we'll just go around and use a fake warrant that we've issued ourselves and take the gas meter, which they did. They came around with the police. And There's a video of that actually on YouTube as well. By the way, if you want any of my YouTube channel, I've got 3 channels, different videos go on each one. There's Sri Lanka C, Mark Ceylon with a C, and Mark Ceylon with an S, and you'll find them on there somewhere where they came round and raided the house and used a forged warrant. Now, when I mentioned to the police that that's a forged warrant, they called the court up. And you know what the court said? We don't issue that type of warrant. So you know what they did? They called up, for instance, we'll say it was Eon, I can't remember who it was with now. Oh, Atlantic, I think it was. They called up their own office, their legal department. They pretended to be the court, and then they gave the phone to the police and said, yes, we're a court, we issued that warrant. I'm telling you, that's what happened.
Do the police not try to verify that when you just got
The
somebody?
police are not allowed to get involved in a civil matter.
But-
That was a civil matter, they still got involved.
But that's what I'm saying, they got involved.
They shouldn't have got involved. Anyway, I don't want to go on because there's a video and it was actually very interesting. I'm not going into it because there's a video of it now. So after a while, they decided to chase me with a debt collector, and I was going, oh no, not a debt collector! LCS, a specialist debt collector specialising in utilities. Important thing to notice here, the date, 8th of the 12th, 2011. Obviously I've removed my name and the details. Please contact us urgently, we want to scam you. Notice, £305 has been added to this. So for sending you a letter, we're going to charge you £305 and some pence. I write with reference to the above mentioned case number and outstanding Atlantic gas invoice. Notice it's an invoice and not a bill. Very important that. Very, very important. A friend of mine was telling me today actually how someone had asked for a bill, and I'm just digressing here because this is important. A friend, Julian, a friend of ours, got taken to court for not paying. Apparently not paying. Oh, but do you know why we can't pay anyway? Yes, you know why we can't pay? Oh, no, you don't, right. The country's been bankrupt for hundreds of years. The last time it became bankrupt was 1939. Whenever a country declares war, it becomes bankrupt. But we were already bankrupt prior to that anyway. So in 1939, when we declared war on Germany, Germany never declared war on us. We declared war on Germany. We went into back into bankruptcy because we never come out of it. Under bankruptcy rules, you stay in bankruptcy for 70 years. So in 2009, we've come out of bankruptcy. Oh, wait a minute. What happened in 2008? Oh, we had a financial crash. That's right. That must just be a coincidence putting us back in bankruptcy. Yeah, can't have been planned. Can't have possibly been planned, can it? Well, as I say, I digress sometimes. I write reference to the above mentioned case number and outstanding Atlantic gas invoice. We have recently undertaken an investigation, oh no, not an investigation, into the utility supply to the address between such as 2009, April 2009 and December 2010. So, for a year and a half, apparently. Our investigation has led us to believe that you have moved. Really? Then how come you sent it to the address where I was living at the time, which is the same address that they stole my meter from? Where was I? I've moved, I can't see it. Oh yeah. From the supply address to the address above, and are the persons, well I'm not a person anyway, and if you don't know about what a person is, I may get onto that if I've got time, responsible for the consumption of this supply. Would you please contact us on blah 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 so that we can discuss repayment of the outstanding invoice. Please note that all information received is regarded with the strictest confidence. Well, I better do something, hadn't I? Well, as I say, it was on the 8th and the 12th. Now, under contract law, if you don't reply to someone within 3 days, you accept what they have said. If they send you a letter and you just ignore it, you're accepting what's in that letter. So, the 11th, 3 days later, this is letter 1 that you would send off to deal with debt. I'm not going to read it all. It's freely available on that site that I mentioned earlier. But it's basically saying, I accept that you say I owe you some money. I'll be happy to pay you, no problem at all. Just show me the evidence that I actually owe you some money, and I will pay you in full. That's perfectly reasonable, isn't it? No one can argue with that. Oh, you say I owe you some money, prove it, and I'll pay you.
What site is this on?
goodf.forumotion.com, I think.
Right, that's right.
Now also you'll notice down the bottom here, we use some very interesting words: without recourse, non-assumptive, and there was some other words that we used to use, but we changed when we found out what they really meant. One of which was, I think it was without prejudice, which means that you can't use it in court. So we stopped using that. But as you can see, there are a few bits and bobs on there. You'll notice there, up the top there, with the autograph, with a stamp, with a signature going through it, with a thumbprint, with the date, and down the bottom, slightly different, with a seal, with a signature going through it, copy claim, with a date, and also on the back, that similar thing would be done as well. That makes you the postmaster of that document, which means if it ever goes to court, what a judge would do, for instance, here's that very letter, straight enough. That's the front. Send recorded delivery. Staple it to your letter so you don't lose it. Important information, and as you can see, it's there on the back as well.
Is that so that the judge can't turn it over anymore?
Well, the judge. Oh, I don't know what I did there.
Sorry.
There we go. Yeah, it is so the judge can't. What the judge will do sometimes is you give him your document and he'll put it down in front of him and he'll say, I see nothing of relevance here. He's not looking at the words, he's looking at the white paper, he's not reading what you put there. He can do that. Except when it's got this stuff on it, he can't. So what he'll sometimes do is turn it over, put it face down and say, there's nothing of relevance here, except when that's on the back, he can't. So a judge can't ignore that. Very powerful, the postmaster. So that was on the 11th, and I'll just refer back to this. We'll notice it's Rebecca Carter. So on the 19th, now I gave them 10 days to reply on the 11th. So they had up to the 21st to reply. I got this on the 19th. Notice on outstanding payment, dispute you can read that if you want to, but the main important things are the things that they highlight in bold to scare you. Solicitors who may issue legal proceedings may. Well, I may go to the toilet in a minute, and I may not. A local representative who may, is that word again, you've got to remember earlier she was saying about words as spells, and you take these words for what you think they to mean, when actually it means something totally different. A representative may call at your home to secure payment. Please note that there may be a charge for missed visits. Ooh. So now they're threatening you with more money. You can owe them more money if they go. However, what they're not telling you here, I think there are 2 debt collection companies in the UK that actually have a license to visit you at your home. This isn't one of them. That is an absolute lie. They can't visit you, they haven't got a license to do so. And there are ways dealing with it, even if they're one of those that do have a license. And I've never had a debt collector visit me, ever. And I used to owe, allegedly, somewhere between £40,000 and £50,000. And guess what? It's gone. Okay, we'll skip down a little bit further down there, just here. Should legal action become necessary? Oh, well, now they're threatening legal action. You better be scared, be very scared. Should legal action become necessary and the court order remains unpaid, the following may, it may not as well, take place. A bankruptcy petition may, they use that word an awful lot, don't they? A bankruptcy petition may be made in line with legislation and balance of the account. A deduction under court order directly from your employee attachment of earnings. Now, before I go on about that, let me just tell you something about this alleged attachment of earnings after I've had a drink. Many have been issued attachments of earnings. I don't know of any that have been to court. The company will issue you, or your company, an attachment of earnings. Pretend it's from a court, but they will have issued it themselves. That is fraud. They all do it, every single one of them.
Isn't that what the councils do as well?
The council do it as well, yeah. And the employer usually just sees, it's attachment, it must be from the court. Yeah, stopping your wages. Without actually doing any due diligence and checking that it's actually legitimate. And I've not seen a legitimate one to this day, and I've been doing this for so many years. Actually, it's 10 years. 10 years this year. I've been doing this whole thing that I'm going to talk about in a bit, even longer, but I digress. Seizure of your personal belongings by a court-appointed bailiff. That's a lie. There are very few court-appointed bailiffs that deal with civil matters. In fact, no court-appointed bailiff will deal with a civil matter unless it has actually been to a real court. And as was mentioned at the beginning, there's been no real courts since 2008. So, court-appointed, not a court bailiff, a court-appointed bailiff, which means a private bailiff. Now, when you look into bailiff powers, a private bailiff, does anyone know what powers a private bailiff has? Zero.
They're just debt collectors.
Yeah, but they will come. There's one thing they can do, and so can the police, and they do. They can lie. And they do lie. They will say, like it says here, we're going to send someone around to nick your gear. Okay, what warrant are you going to use for that then? Well, we've got this liability order. Okay, that's fine, even though it's not real. I'm not going into that just yet. If you want to know later, when we're in a break, maybe I'll tell you. There's no legitimate liability orders ever. So you're going to use a liability order to break into my house? Yes, I am. You do know that you actually need a warrant of entry to break into anyone's house, don't you? So if you try to use that and break into my house, you're breaking the law and you'll be a burglar. And as every house is, your home is a castle, you can use whatever means you like to repel them. I keep a stick, a big heavy stick next to the door. If anyone does try this shit, they'll find out how heavy that stick is. Because I've done with pointing out that they're crooks. I'm just going to beat them back. And you know what? Lord Denning said that if anyone gets into your house without the correct paperwork, you can do just that. He actually said it's about the end of the milk bowl, but you can take that. We don't have milk bottles much anymore. So, county court judgment or Scottish decree in Scotland registered for up to 6 years, resulting in difficulty in obtaining further credit. Credit? Oh, you mean that things the banks lend you when they lend you money allegedly, but without actually lending you any money? Does any of you think I'm going to be wanting any credit? So, all that there is bull. That's lies and scare tactics, as will become more apparent. So, now I don't have to answer this within 3 days, because I told them, I gave them 10 days to reply to my letter. 10 days later, I send them letter 2. Now, the letters have changed, because these are just template letters, and I modified these when I first got on debt-free, enhanced them. Again, you can see, I wrote to you on the 11th, you can read that if you want to. Basically, the following, you gave 10 days, the above, we'll consider an agreement to the following. 1, that you are a third-party interloper. That's very important. When it gets given to a debt collector, a debt collector's got nothing to do with you. The debt collector buys it for 10p in the pound or less. Now they'll say, we've got your debt that you owe now you're paying it to us. Even though we paid £10 for this £100, we want the full £100 back off you. So, you're a third party interloper, I've got no agreement with you. Well, I'll tell you what, Never mind an agreement. Have we got a contract? Well, no. Did we have a contract with a bank? For instance, say we borrowed 10 grand. Did we have a contract with a bank? No. Do you know why we don't have a contract with a bank? What, do you know why they use an agreement? Because with an agreement, they don't have to tell you that they are creating money out of thin air. In fact, it's worse. When you fill out that loan agreement, we'll call it for 10 grand for instance, you fill out that agreement, and I promise you know, as was shown with that £10 note, it had it in numbers, it had it in words, it's got a signature by the trustee or the treasurer of the Bank of England. When you fill out that loan agreement, it has it in numbers, it has it in words, and then you put your signature on it, guess what you've just done? You've created a promissory note, which the bank merely securitised. You created a £10,000, but they use an agreement because they don't have to tell you that. Then they pretend to lend you your own money, they want you to pay it back with interest. Can you believe how badly you are scammed? It gets worse. They sell it. That's what securitisation is, they sell it. Oh, if you're wondering why they sell it, well, whoever buys it knows they're going to get the initial amount back, plus interest. But say they meet me, who tends not to pay things. And what they do then, this is a European directive by the way, I don't pay for 3 months. First thing they do is they cash the insurance policy in and get paid in full. So they get paid in full, plus what you've already paid it, plus they get the money off the debt collector who buys it off them for 10 pence in the pound. So they get the money back hand over fist, and then the debt collector comes after you for it as well. I could spend hours on this, but I know we've got limited time. That you have no legal standing. Oh, we've got no agreement, no credit, no contract. We've got nothing between us. What are you talking to me for? I don't even know you. That you have no first-hand knowledge of this matter. That your claim is fraudulent. This is what they're agreeing to. That any damages I suffer, you will be culpable for. So if you cause me any loss, you're going to pay me back, not the other way round. That any negative remarks made on credit reference agency will be removed. You will no longer pursue this matter any further. That you agree to pay all fee schedules. And you see on the top there, that I added because they kept saying, we have to treat all your things as a complaint when they weren't complaints. I'm simply saying, you say I owe you some money, how about proving it? And then down the bottom, do not refer to me as Mr. or any title, which is a legal fiction. And I could do a whole night's talk on that subject by itself. Does any of you think that you're a Mr., a Mrs., a Miss, an all-capital name? I've got a feeling some of you do and you're not putting your hands up. Then what's happened to this interaction we're supposed to be having? Right, so that's letter 2 that I sent to them. And look, I put their name down there at the bottom because they're a third-party interloper, they're the lowest of the low. You'll notice my name's over here on the right-hand side. I signed over here. Now, were you taught to sign on the right-hand side when you were at school? Do you know why not? Because this document is split in two. The left-hand side is the debtor side. The right-hand side is the creditor side. So you put your name and address as the creditor, and then you're taught to sign as the debtor. So I always sign as a creditor because I am the only credit involved in my life, and then scumbags are the debtors. And I don't want to spend too much on this because I could talk on this subject for years.
Can I just ask quickly, you've got, my eyesight's really bad, you're sincerely there?
No. Where?
You're sincerely?
Yeah.
I've seen, I just wanted to ask you, I've seen something that said, don't put yours sincerely, just put by and a colon.
Well, if you look at the name there, by, colon, my signature. By, sovereign, my name, and I've removed copyright, trademark.
I said my eyesight's not good, so I didn't say that.
Yeah, and bearing in mind this was in 2011, and we found out so much more in the preceding years.
That's the only reason I'm asking, is because
I know.
It's a lot to take on board.
Things have changed as we progressed and learn more. So, 22nd, bear in mind, mine was sent on the 21st, so these two will have crossed in the post. Dear me, we are writing to you in regards to an outstanding Atlantic gas bill. This bill was accrued at between April 9 and December 10. We were instructed on the 5th of December 11 by Atlantic Gas to recover the balance on their behalf. I've attached a copy of the bill for you and would like to advise you that we will place 10 days of hold upon the account to allow receipt of this letter. If no contact is made within these 10 days, the hold will be removed and further action will continue. Oh no, what are they going to do to me? Well, I sent them a letter on the 21st, giving them 10 days to respond. That's a fair. There's no ins and outs. The shortest term you can give them is 3 days under contract law. You can give them as long as you want, but 10 days is reasonable. If you're in a hurry, 3 days is fine. Oh look, we got another letter from on the 22nd. It's crossed in the post. But interestingly, look, it's no longer Rebecca whatever name. It's now Michelle Mills. We are writing in regard to your outstanding blah blah blah. We were instructed, I've attached, the usual junk. Again, I gave them 10 days, so I won't be replying until the 31st. This arrived, was sent on the 29th and probably got it on the 30th or the 31st. Offer to settle without prejudice, which is something we used to put on the letters till we found out what it meant. So they tried to use our own words against us. This is where it gets interesting. You start to realise you've been scammed. Offer a settlement without prejudice. We have previously written to you concerning your outstanding balance of £2,341.11 owed to the above-named client. We are disappointed to see that, despite our efforts, the balance remains unpaid. I bet you are. We have recommended to our client 2 potential scenarios for the recovery of this outstanding debt. 1. We will instigate formal legal proceedings against you within 10 days. Further expenses may incur, including court fees, legal representation, interest and administration charges. Alternatively, we're going to give you another chance. We provide you with an opportunity. I'm always looking forward to opportunities, I am. An opportunity to settle the account now and take advantage of a one-off full and final settlement discount of 20%, i.e. the amount required to settle the account will be £1,872.89. Wow, they've given me 20% off. But wait a minute, if they could take me to court and get the full amount plus interest plus charges, why are they giving me 20% off? This will be your only opportunity to settle the account at a discount. We strongly urge you to take advantage of the reduction made without prejudice and subject to withdrawal and expiry after 14 days from receipt of this. Oh no, if I don't pay them quickly, they're not going to give me that 20% discount, so they'll either get nothing off me or... guess what they got? Please contact us on blah 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 within the time frame indicated above to make payment. It's gone back to Rebecca again. Can you see that they're worried here? By the way, the highest discount I was offered on any of my alleged debts was 80%. I've never paid a single debt back, and I apparently owed somewhere between 40 and 50,000. I lost count of it. Letter 3 went out. Again, these are available. They're slightly different on the new site. These were things I did in 2011, and we've changed things slightly. Again, the same stuff. Postmaster, 31st, reference, blah blah blah, and all that sort of junk.
Does the value of the stamp matter at all?
I'm not 100% sure. All I know is if you do put it on there, it in some way pays stamp duty. And I've seen older documents where they have stamps all over it and signature. In fact, Tom Crawford put a document he got where they executed one of the kings, I forget what his name is. There's about 20 people's stamps and thumbprints and signatures all over this document. Don't know if this is correct or not, because I've not had time to check this out, but this is quite new. You call everybody by title, sir. You know what it means? It meant by the word sir, slave I remain. I don't know if this is right or not, but this came to my possession recently. Slave I remain. The British during their rule wanted all Indians to address them as sir. Even after 69 years of independence, we still keep calling everyone sir. Even American president is addressed Mr. President, not sir. It's interesting that, isn't it? Because he's called Mr. President, not slave I remain, if that's what this means. Many people do not know the real meaning of the word and think it is an address with respect. Frankly, even I also don't know it. Spread this message fast, how intelligently they rule and how foolish we are, still going on their ways. Stop calling them sir. And I've pointed out in many of my videos, it seems to me, if you get a title of sir, you go to see the Queen, the evil woman, and she awards you a title of sir, you're either already, or at some later date, you'll become a paedophile. Sir Jimmy Savile, Sir Cliff Richard, Sir, they're all in a club, and thankfully, you don't want to get in that club of what they're in. Any questions? Well, I must have explained it really, really well then. That's it for this part. We'll have a short break, go for a pee, get a drink, keep the barman busy, and I'll be back with something even more interesting, at least I like to think, in a short while.
So I've got one question, sorry, about those people, LCS, actually sent a letter to my neighbours who spoke to them. I wasn't there at the time, but I spoke to them and made it clear to them that the bill wasn't relevant, it wasn't theirs.
Well, like I said there, you ask for a bill, they will never send you a bill. They'll send you an invoice, they will never send you a bill, and that's because of the Bills of Exchange Act.
No, I'm just saying they said that they accepted that and they wouldn't hear any more.
Yeah.
And now it's gone back. It's a Waterman, and it's gone back to Anglia Waterman.
Well, this was for over £2,000. That third letter was the last one I sent, and never got anything back ever again.